South Africa is considering sharply increasing tariffs on imported vehicles from China and India. Bloomberg first reported that this proposal is under review. The proposed tariffs could see duties on completely built-up passenger vehicles raised to as much as 50% from the current levels of near 25%. That's double. Now, the move is aimed at a range of measures to curb rising inbound shipments from the two Asian manufacturing hubs, which now make up a dominant share of vehicle imports. In 2024, vehicles from China accounted for over half of the total vehicle imports into South Africa, while Indian vehicles made up over one-fifth. For perspective, Indian shipments have increased about 135% in the last 5 years. South African policymakers argue that the surge in imports has squeezed margins for local producers and undercut domestic manufacturing. Other fiscal measures under consideration include revisiting excise duties on luxury cars and adjusting rebate mechanisms used by the auto sector. For Indian automakers, steeper tariffs could have significant implications. Higher duties would raise the landed cost of vehicles, likely weakening price competitiveness against locally assembled and domestically produced vehicles. And this could slow export growth, reduce sales volumes, and compress profit margins in a key African market where cost-sensitive customers have increasingly favored imports. The shift might also prompt Indian manufacturers to consider deeper localization strategies to mitigate tariff impact and sustain market presence. And our correspondent Kaldin Ongmu sent us this report from Johannesburg for more on this.
If you look around the streets of South Africa, it's evident that South Africans are buying a whole lot of Chinese cars primarily for their unmatched value for money. But this has not done well for the local markets. And now authorities are mulling, reviewing its tariff policy after a sharp rise in vehicles imports from China and India, prompting officials to weigh duties of up to 50% to protect local manufacturers. Higher import duties are intended to level the playing field for South African assemblers who have faced margin pressure as cheap imports flood the market. The tariff review will involve the National Treasury and may affect border trade relations with the BRICS bloc, of which South Africa, China and India are members. Adjustments are expected to be presented to the Parliament after the internal assessment is completed. This is Kaldin Ongmu from Johannesburg, South Africa for WION World is One.